Hi, I'm Matt Bianchini, Mayor of Pemberton Township, and welcome to our 180th anniversary. We're having our anniversary event today here at the Country Lakes Firehouse. And as you can see, we have a lot of different tables with some historical facts and some historical items about Pemberton Township. So follow me and let's walk around and look. Here we have Sherry Skull. She's a part of the Historic Preservation Trust. And as we come around here, this is Marie Reynolds' table. And as you can see, we have one of the books that she has published, this one being on Browns Mills. There's a little book she has here that she wrote, Pemberton Through Time. So if you come on down, you can pick one up. As we come around here, we're serving food from our wonderful rec department staff, sandwiches, fruit, some beverages. And this is Mrs. Epps. And here we have a table for our Pemberton Township Fire Department and all of its history. If you keep following me this way, there we have Big Joe Anderson. Joe is always traveling somewhere to obtain artifacts. I follow him closely on Facebook. And this Mr. Anderson right here, he's a Phillies fan. We don't know. He has some really interesting items over here. Gentlemen. And here you see we have a 180 band playing for us, live entertainment for the event today. Oh, the DJ. Let's go over here. Here's our DJ. Hey, good to see you again.
Great to see you, my friend.
How you been, all right?
Good.
What happened? What happened?
I wish I had a good story. We're going to introduce you in a few minutes.
What was that?
We're going to introduce you in a few minutes.
Sure, okay. Yeah, let me wrap this up with Mr. Gardner and I'll come on over. And that concludes our tour. If you're not here, you should be. At least stop in, say hi, grab a snack, take a quick glance across the tables. But thank you. Happy 100th anniversary of Pemberton Township.
Good afternoon. My name is Craig Augustoni. I'm the Fire Chief of the Pemberton Township Fire Department, and I appreciate you guys stopping by today at this 180th anniversary of Pemberton Township and our historical. I guess we're gonna look at a lot of history today. So we set up a table for the fire department, and I appreciate you stopping by. And we're gonna walk down it. First of all, we have a lot of memorabilia. Start off with several of our banquets that we had throughout the years, as you can see. We have the 50th anniversary of the fire department, the parade book, with a lot of sponsoring to give you a little bit of the history of the fire department. Also, this is an application to participate in that anniversary parade, which was on May 6th of 1972. And just recently in 22, we celebrated 100 years. It was an invitation card here. And this is kind of cool. We used to walk around door to door doing donations, and we would put these cards in your window, and that would tell the rest of the firefighters that we stopped by your house already. And this little handout here is basically what was in the book for information, a short little history of the Browns Mills Volunteer Fire Company, which was 100 years old. And the different pictures we have of some fires we were on. This collection here is all of our bylaws, Constitution and bylaws through the years, including our Constitution and bylaws with our auxiliary. This is a minute book, started in 1948 and ends in the 60s. This was the original constitution and bylaws of the fire company, and there's a note in here. In 1927, there was a fire at Hargrove's store, which he was in a charter member of, and all the from 22 to 27, all of the minutes were burned up, and they had to start back over, and that's so they make a historical note in there. Pretty cool stuff. This is a picture about 1977 with the crew. This fire truck that's right here, we just purchased that. A little picture here. We don't know exactly where this fire is. This is our 22 Model T fire truck. That was the first fire truck, and we'll see that when we get down here, that we purchased. Once again, just some pictures. This is interesting. This is when the township turned over the firehouse that's uptown, which was the original municipal building, and then they turned it over to the fire company. And just some notes and so forth from the auxiliary to us. So this here is Mr. Thorne. He was a charter member, and we celebrated, we dedicated a fire truck to him and his many years of service. And I believe this was 95 we did this, and really neat day for us. This is also interesting, and that's reflected in our minutes. Somewhere in the 40s, they didn't really hand out the fire department phone number, which is kind of crazy. So they created these cards that you would leave at your house, and you can see you only dialed 4 digits back then to get the fire department or the ambulance. You can see it tells you in the daytime, do this, nighttime. Kind of crazy that you had to look at the card before you called. This picture is a guy named Fat Daddy. He was about 500 pounds. He was actually a firefighter, and he was kind of like an icon for the fire department. Everybody knew Fat Daddy. We also have some tribute to our first aid squads that were here, Browns Mills. Once again, these are these cards that you would put in the window and walk by. This is from I believe, they were formed in '49. I'm not really sure when this photograph was taken. Our company patch from Browns Mills. The reason we have most Browns Mills here is it's the oldest company. Country Lakes Emergency Squad. This is Mr. Hewlick. He was also a charter member, and he was celebrating his 50 years. And some pictures of the celebration we had. Some more first aid people, if they're completing their first aid training. This picture here is kind of cool. This is a 36 Han, and the guys are out training. They had that way till up into the, I believe, the 60s when they started getting, or the 50s when they got the other pumpers. Some more pictures of our parade. This is an old dispatch signals for that when the police department dispatched us. So they were signals and the different fire departments.
Can we have your attention, everybody? Please, your attention.
And this is a fire report from the chief, and these are all the people that attended. We belong to what they call the New Jersey Relief Association, and this is our charter. And it just shows it's amazing the dates on there. And they used to have firemen's balls, and we found this upstairs in our attic. And of course, all these are the different trucks we have, and you can see by the different years. Of course, the picture, like I said, all the different trucks we have. We were able to find all the trucks, and we have so we brought the older trucks here today. A nozzle off this 58 Central here. And this is a picture we found of the Country Lakes Fire Company. This is their first trucks. Of course, our Model T. This is a water tender out of Presidential Lakes. The bell that is on this 36 on, which is kind of cool. And plates we used to have on our cars, different fire helmets. These are original fire helmets that they bought back in the day. This here is what we call an insular. That's how they used to, before we had pagers, they would alert us. And this is from the 60s. And here's we found these up in the attic. These are pinwheels from when they had the carnivals back in the 40s. So we appreciate you stopping by, and thank Pemberton Township for putting this on.
While you still can.
for a celebration at 180th start of Pemberton Township. We brought out a lot of displays right here. They're looking at photos, some of which I've never seen before, that came from my husband's aunt out in Las Vegas. She was the manager of the Farmer Mechanic Bank, messaged me and said, are you interested in some pictures I had at the bank? I said, sure. I was thrilled because there are a lot of them I've never seen, Marie had never seen, Joe had never seen, so we're really happy. I'm the chair of the Pemberton Township Historic Trust. I'm Sherry Scull. I'm hoping that we can get our museum up and running soon. If you'd like to volunteer, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name's Joe Anderson, and I got a collection of Pemberton Township, Browns Mill stuff that I collect, and we have an exhibit here at the Country Lakes Firehouse, and you're more than welcome to come out and look at everything. There's a lot of displays out here today, so come on out.
Hi, I'm Marie Reynolds. We're here today at Country Lakes Firehouse for the 180th birthday of Pemberton Township, and we're partying. We're partying with history today. I brought with me newspapers from the Times Advertiser to the Mount Holly Herald to the Community News, as well as books, history books about Pemberton Township, and we're talking to people about some of the things that were here and some of the wonderful things that were here over the years, going back 180 years. So we're currently looking in the Browns Mills history book for the pictures of the still that were up in Woods Nancy. Kay Stull told us about that when we were working on the book, and I can't find them, but they're in here somewhere. But there was a huge still during Prohibition, and it was cool because the men were all dressed very elaborately, like they wore hats and suits to go work on the still. So it was an indication of how serious they were about the work of the still in Woods Nancy. Yes. We're having a good time.
Hey, greetings. I'm Kendall Brunson. I am the Director of Recreation, Senior Services and Parks for Pemberton Township. We are here today celebrating the 180th anniversary / birthday celebration of Pemberton Township. We have a great event, and we have this wonderful banner with our new logo. And we're celebrating 180, 365. That means we are celebrating the birthday of Pemberton 365 days of the year. And we'll be back here next year to see what we have done all year to make this a great celebration for this wonderful town. So we just, once again, thank you for coming out to this beautiful event and celebrating 180 years of Pemberton Township. 180, 365. One Pemberton.